I am Gwen Wade, and I serve as the Director of International Programs here at Clark Atlanta University. And I have been asked by the Planning Committee to bring greetings. So that is what I am about to do. To our distinguished guests, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is with tremendous pleasure that I welcome you to the second annual Women's International Leadership Forum, and of course to the beautiful, historic Clark Atlanta University campus. Tonight we celebrate women leaders who have made a difference in their communities, and as a result, have made a difference for us in academia, politics, human rights, health, business, and media. Tonight, we also have a planned panel discussion where you will meet three fantastic women who are doing wonderful things with their leadership. But as I indicated earlier, because we have a very exciting program planned for you, and Wendell is standing so far away from me, I don't know if he's just upset because I hit him a few moments ago.
It's COVID.
Oh, it's COVID, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't say that just a few moments ago, but anyway. We are diving right into our program, and as a result, we are going to ask the fifth president of Clark Atlanta University, Dr. George T. French, Jr., who will be accompanied by our lovely First Lady, who is singularly responsible for this event tonight, to come to the podium and bring greetings. Wendell and I are serving as MCs, or rather we should say the clock people. So you will see and hear a lot from us this evening. So as our President and First Lady come to the stage, please give them a warm round of applause.
Good evening. You are standing on sacred ground. The beautiful campus of Clark Atlanta University, with origins of 1865 and 1869, constitutes sacred ground. The Atlanta University Center, where Martin Luther King Jr. studied, where W.E.B. Du Bois was faculty, where countless scholars taught on this historic campus. It's sacred ground, and we welcome you to sacred ground. Most certainly to our MCs of the evening, to the fine leadership that is with us this afternoon, this evening, I shall say. Most certainly paying tribute to the second annual Women's International Leadership Forum. an initiative of which we are proud, and the First Lady, Dr. Bacon French, has worked arduously to host you this evening and to prepare to receive you here at Clark Atlanta University. We say thank you, welcome to our campus, thank you for being here with us, and thank you for supporting the 4,000 scholars and 800 faculty members here of Clark Atlanta University. Won't you now welcome again the First Lady, Dr. Basheen Bacon French.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is an honor to be here, and I would like to thank you, President French, as well as the Israeli Consulate General, as well as Ms. Wade and Mr. Wendell. This has certainly been a team effort. As we know, this is Women's Month, right? But we took it a step further to acknowledge and to celebrate international women. International women, the women that we are acknowledging and celebrating tonight, deserve to be celebrated to the utmost. And so we want it to be an event where we collectively celebrate them. CAU presidents, and this is from one of my dear friends, Fenda Hillman, and I asked her if I could borrow this to present this to you in brevity. Internationalization is important. Giving our students a global and relevant education is of utmost importance, as Ms. Wade daily demonstrates through her efforts. CAU presidents have always championed international education. Former President Dr. Carlton Brown expressed an interest in international student exchanges by bringing the highest number of international students to the campus of CAU. The students came as a result of a partnership with the Saudi Arabian governments and certain African governments. Former President Dr. Ron Johnson introduced the approach of internationalization to the curriculum by ensuring that there were global outcomes built into the student curricula. President George T. French Jr. brings extensive international experience to our university, and both have demonstrated both a commitment to the students and the faculty in international diversity. Clark Atlanta University is a member of the HBCU Africa Education Coalition. There is a scheduled partnership with Ghana, where students are traveling to Ghana soon. If you're in the room and you're traveling to Ghana, raise your hand. Okay. This initiative focuses on 100,000 Strong Africa initiative, where we have partnership on the African continent, spearheaded by Ms. Wade for CAU. Also, we have our partnership with Liberia, which President French is the bicentennial chair for the 200th anniversary. Our students have a long history of traveling and studying abroad, and we want to continue that history. You know, women, we have what some would say a balancing act to do with our careers, with our families, with our interests, but I see it more so as a holistic circle. I've traveled to about 30 different countries, and my daughter, who is now 16, has traveled to 17 of them with me, and some of them more than once, because I want her to have the experience of seeing women around the world in their sphere, in their professions, in their realm. And so I ask that we celebrate women, not as a balancing act, but collectively. I could not separate myself and go to work and leave her. So I said, you know, there's no such thing as a balancing act here. I'll bring her with me to have this exposure and this experience. And so to our students, we look forward to you, particularly the women students, as being the scholars and the intellectuals that you are, not only here in Atlanta, in the US, but internationally. Again, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. French and First Lady Dr. French. And it is so appropriate that tonight we are hosting this program in conjunction with members of the Atlanta Consular Corps. We appreciate the role that those consulates have in the internationalization of Clark Atlanta University specifically, but institutions nationally. So give yourselves a round of applause, please.
Good evening, and again, welcome to Clark Atlanta University, and welcome to the place that I like to call home, the Atlanta University Center. The Atlanta Consular Corps is most appreciative for being a partner in this event, here to represent over 16 different countries partnering. I want to welcome to the stage the Dean of the Consular Corps, as well as other members representing the 16 partner countries. Would you come at this time? Other consul generals and honorary consuls, please join the dean on the stage. So tonight, we have 16 countries represented in partnership with Clark Atlanta University. France, Haiti, Argentina, Honduras, Mexico, Liberia, Belgium, Canada, Ireland, India, Israel, Nigeria, Jamaica, Lesotho, Guyana, and Germany. Let's give it up for these lovely men and women representing these 16 partner countries.
Thank you very much again, and we just want, on behalf of my colleagues and friends from the Atlanta Consular Corps, we want to thank everybody at Atlanta Clark University, of course, and of course the great initiative by our good friend and colleague Anat Sultan for making this happen and for gathering us together here. All of us, as you can see, the Atlanta Consular Corps is a large group of nations that are represented here in Atlanta, many of them headed by women. But I can tell you, and I can surely tell you that all of the consulates that operate here in Atlanta do their job every day on behalf of their country, on behalf of their countrymen who work here, and also, of course, making relations with wonderful people like all of you in this room. And those consulates would not be able to work without women. It is women that make our offices work. And we believe strongly in that. And I want to paraphrase a great phrase from Margaret Thatcher, because if you want something said, ask a man. But if you want something done, ask a woman. Thank you. And on behalf of the Consular Corps, we want to bestow this gift to the First Lady on behalf of the Consular Corps. Please.
Madam First Lady, will you join us on the stage? Let's give it up for the wonderful First Lady of Clark Atlanta University. I cannot echo the sentiments of Ms. Wade enough. Had it not been for Dr. Bacon French, tonight's event would not be possible. In addition, we'd like to acknowledge Ms. Gwen Wade, who also strategically put this program together. Ms. Wade has been a great partner to the Atlanta Consular Corps, and especially intricate in putting this program together tonight as well. As an additional token of our appreciation, we'd like to give you your flowers while you're living. Ms. Wade, again, thank you so much. We made sure that they were the appropriate colors for these ladies. Let's give it up for our Consular Corps again.
Thank you.
So again, whether you found your way or made one to tonight's event, we want to welcome you home, as this is where you belong. Here to welcome you home is none other than Atlanta's Women's Chorus. Let's welcome as they come now. Singing Home from Moana by Charlie Smalls.
There's no place like home. It's just fantastic. Now at this time, we will have the evocation by Miss Queen Turvalon, who is a master's candidate at Emory, but more so a 2020 Clark Atlanta University graduate, and who represented the university in Beijing and Shanghai, China, at our first international China tour. Queen?
Good evening, everyone. It is wonderful to be here. Thank you, Clark Atlanta University. Thank you to all of you for having me here today. I'm very excited to be here. Now, it's about to be eating time, so I don't want to keep y'all too long. But one thing that is beautiful is in a world of differences of culture, differences of ideology, we can all share some good food. So I just want to say to the Creator, to the divine presence that's in this room, that is outside of this room, that is everywhere on earth, I pray that this food unites us and allows us to continue to share love with each other, because that's the greatest thing of all. Thank you.
As we prepare for dinner, let's give it up again for the Atlanta Women's Chorus. They'll be performing How Far I'll Go.
I've been staring at the edge of the water long as I can remember, never really knowing why. And I wish I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water no matter how hard I try.
Every turn I take, every trail I track, every path I make, every road leads back to the place I know where I cannot go, where I long to be. See the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me, and no one knows how far it goes. If the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I'll know. If I go, there's just no telling how far I'll go. I know everybody on this island seems so happy on this island. Everything is by design. I know everybody on this island has a role on this island, so maybe I can roll with mine. I can lead with pride, I can make us strong. I'll be satisfied if I play along, but the voice inside sings a different song. What is wrong with me? See the light as it shines on the sea, it's blinding, and no one knows how deep it goes. And it seems like it's calling out to me, so come find me and let me know what's beyond that line. Will I cross that line? The line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me, and no one knows how far it goes. If the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I'll know how far I'll go.
A few individuals who are with us tonight and who assisted in making this event possible. Let us begin with your friends, the congressional people.
Let us first acknowledge the Georgia General Assembly. We have members from the Georgia General Assembly who are here with us celebrating one of the awardees tonight. Would you stand and be recognized? We have representatives from the Georgia Secretary of State, and Georgia, stand up. We also have friends from our academic institutions.
He's trying to take away my vote. Okay. We'd also like to recognize some of our colleagues from Clark Atlanta University and
Where's CAU at?
If you would stand and please be recognized. I see Dean Turner, Dean Mendoza, Dean Chaudry. Thank you so very much.
And I see.
And we'd like to especially recognize those individuals who assisted us with the program. As our First Lady indicated, this was a team effort. And if the ladies, you heard me when I said ladies, if you would please stand and be recognized? Dr. Star Irving, Dr. Ernita Hemmett, Ms. Danette Adams, Ms. Galen Joshua, and Dr. Michelle Rose. Would you all please stand and be recognized? I can't tell you how much we really appreciate your time.
I'd also like to recognize our lead consular partners in this event. Our partners from the Consulate General of Israel, Aaron Bronstein, Jacqueline Allen, Karen Jones, Dylan Rice, Carmen Diaz, Mr. Richard Niles, and I can't forget my Morehouse brother, Kyle Hobbs.
Will Mr. Cameron Randall please stand? Our graduate SGA president with CAU, along with Miss Senior, Miss Jalissa Lowe, who is also a study abroad ambassador, along with other SGA representatives. Would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you.
We'd like to also recognize our other partner institutions today. We have friends from Georgia State University, Oglethorpe University, Emory, Agnes Scott, Spelman College, and our dear friends at Morehouse College, including Ms. Maroon and Weidencourt.
So as the choir sang earlier, welcome home. Also at this time, we would like to recognize again Ms. Sparkle Hall, and I say this in front of witnesses. We're going to be asking for assistance again very soon, like tomorrow. If you would just stand and be recognized again, Ms. Sparkle Hall. Thank you so very kindly. I wanted to make certain I got that out there before the night was over. Important. Yes, very important. We have reached the point in the program where we are going to honor 3 very outstanding women.
You'll hear more about these ladies in just a moment, but at this time I'd like them to stand as our President and First Lady come to the stage. Ms. Cynthia Blandford, who is the Honorary Consul General of Liberia. Ms. Zanat Satan Dodon, the Consul General of Israel to the southeast. Senator Tanya P. Anderson, Chair of the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus, Chair of the Georgia Israel Caucus, and Vice Chair of Nobel Women.
I can tell you that this is an inaugural award that is the brainchild of our First Lady. I may be speaking out of turn here, but I'm going to just say it anyway, because you all may not know this. Our First Lady is not just an ambassador for the university and one who supports her husband, our president, but she is also someone who has been involved in internationalization for many, many years. So when we were conceiving this program, of hosting this program, she said, while we're honoring women, I want to present awards to those women who have assisted others to explore the world. So I wanted you all to know that, and for our president and others to know that we are so happy that she is working very closely with the Office of International Programs in truly assisting us in our international endeavors. So if I get fired for this, Mr. President, I'm sorry, but I had to recognize that in our First Lady.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much. Thank you, Ms. Wade. Thank you kindly, Ms. Wade. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mr. Sam, will you come up to?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sam Burston. I'm the VP of University Relations and External Affairs here at CAU. And when you call my name, you're supposed to clap for me when you hear my name called on campus. Isn't this an exciting event? And I've had an opportunity to work with Wendell and Victoria Nell Taylor to put this great event together. So this is a special segment of the award, and I've been informed that we also have videos in terms of the bios. We have two of our students who are going to assist in passing the awards in terms of our SGA undergraduate president, Miss Autumn Epps. Let's give her a big hand. And Mr. Cameron Rando, he's the SGA graduate president. So our first honoree, Miss Cynthia Blandford. Let's give her a round of applause.
Honorable Cynthia L. Blandford was appointed by Her Excellency, Madame Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, President of the Republic of Liberia in 2009, as Liberia's first female African-American honorary consul, and continues to serve in this capacity with His Excellency, President George Manna Weah. Honorable Blandford was the first Rotarian exchange student to be invited to Liberia, where she attended the University of Liberia and taught school in Yakapa, Nimba County in 1974. The Honorable Blandford is also president and CEO of Global Strategies for Good, that focuses on international business, trade, travel, and tourism, resource development and management, and international conferences. She also founded the University Consortium for Liberia, a 501c3 organization which collaborates with 19 institutional partners to provide study abroad, service learning, study and faculty exchange, and educational scholarships. She also serves as president and board chair. She recently joined the Pan-African Institute for Trade and Economic Development flights to Liberia and facilitated the first African Sister Port Agreement between the Georgia Ports Authority and the National Ports Authority of Liberia. She has successfully conducted over 50 trade, medical, education, and faith missions to Liberia. The Honorable Cynthia L. Blandford.
We can also add to her repertoire, she is a publisher and editor of International Focus magazine. Let's give Cynthia L. Blandford another round of applause. Honorary Consul General of Liberia.
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. To Dr. George T. French, Jr., President of Clark Atlanta University, a distinguished partner as the honorary chair of the University Consortium for Liberia here in Atlanta, Georgia, where we have 19 institutional partners, our nonprofit organization. You have focused on the Young African Leaders and Mandela Fellows program, where we hope to have that program at the University of Liberia in the very short term. On behalf of the people of Liberia, We thank you for the scholarships provided to Liberian students who received their PhDs in chemistry. We thank you. To my new dear friend, First Lady Dr. Basheen Bacon French, who I've come to know as a fellow Pan-Africanist. We have so much in common.
Yes.
Your vision in the human trafficking space and as a thought leader for women and girls and diplomacy. I want to thank you personally for taking the time out of your busy schedule to consider high-level relationships between the African continent and how we can build our relationships even stronger moving forward. I want to thank both of you, Doctors French, for this honor in recognition of my work in business and trade on the continent of Africa, and particularly for the Republic of Liberia. I'm also honored to be among my fellow colleagues who are also trailblazers in their own right. This inaugural academic award is bestowed upon women in leadership who have impacted diplomacy, business, and trade and policy. Congratulations to my colleagues. Finally, to my sister, my coach, Ardella Blanford, who is a Spelman and Clark Atlanta University alum. She is here with me tonight, along with my dear friend, Roy Hadley. Thank you for your ongoing love and for your support. To Wendell and to Gwen, to all of you tonight. Thank you very much for this honor. I believe that trade reduces poverty. I also believe that free and fair trade is the great equalizer. On behalf of the people and the government of Liberia, thank you very much for bestowing this incredible honor on me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you later this year. We are celebrating the 200th anniversary of the Republic of Liberia, founded by free black men and women, and I look forward to welcoming you in Liberia in the short term. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Come on, you can do better than that. I didn't hear you. And the Honorary Consul General of Liberia, the Business and Trade Award. Our next honoree who will receive the Power and Diplomacy Award is no stranger to this campus. And Dr. French, we think she's a student here because she comes all the time. And we look forward to she and the team coming down. Now let's hear about Anat Sultan Dadon.
Anat Sultan Dadon assumed her role as Consul General in Atlanta in July 2019. She has extensive experience working for the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs and has held various posts and positions in Israel and abroad. Consul General Sultan Dadon joined the Israeli Diplomatic Corps in 2004. Her diplomatic career includes postings in Cameroon, Berlin, Germany, The Hague, the Netherlands, and as Deputy Chief of Mission at the Embassy of Israel in Canberra, Australia, where she facilitated then Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's first state visit to Australia. In her current role in Atlanta, Consul General Sultan Dadon is responsible for promoting the bilateral relations between Israel and the 7 states covered by the consulate: Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Under her leadership, the Consulate General of Israel to the Southeast has championed many distinguished initiatives, including the Covenant Program with Morehouse College, the launch of the Georgia-Israel Legislative Caucus, and an annual event in honor of Juneteenth. Sultan Dadon received one of the highest honors bestowed by Morehouse College with her induction into the Martin Luther King Jr. Board of Sponsors. Anat Sultan Dadon is the proud wife to Yaron Dadon and proud mother of 3 girls. Anat Sultan Dadon.
Thank you so much. President Dr. French, First Lady Dr. Bacon-French. I am truly grateful for this honor, but mainly for our growing friendship and partnership. Because from the first time that we met, I think we both recognized how keen and interested we are in forging this relationship. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for hosting this event. Thank you to all of you here, to the amazing women here, to those who are here to celebrate amazing women. May we all live to see celebrations, not just of strong, powerful women, but of a world where gender equality is not just something we strive for, but something that has been achieved. So thank you, and the honor really I dedicate to my daughters and to all of our daughters. May they grow up to see the world where really women are equal. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations again, Anat Sultan Dado. Let's give her another round of applause. And by the way, did anybody know it is the culmination of Women Her Story Month, right? Did anybody know that? Women's Her Story Month. Now, our final honoree, and if you haven't heard her sing, one of these times I hope you do. Let's hear about Senator Tanya Anderson.
Enthusiastic, strong, motivated, and visionary are just a few powerful words to describe Tanya P. Anderson. Senator Tanya P. Anderson was elected to the state Senate to represent Georgia's 43rd District in 2016. Senator Anderson's district includes parts of DeKalb, Rockdale, and Newton counties. Prior to serving as state senator, she served as the first state representative for House District 92. Prior to serving as a state rep, she served as city councilwoman and mayor for the city of Lithonia. Her love for helping others shines through her public service. Senator Anderson serves as the chair of the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus, GLBC. Additionally, she serves as secretary of the Special Judiciary Committee, and she is also a member of the Reapportionment and Redistricting, the Veterans, Military, and Homeland Security Committee, and MARTOC Oversight Committee. She serves as National Second Vice President for the National Organization of Black Elected Legislative Women. Senator Anderson retired in 2012 from the United States Air Force Reserve after more than 21 honorable years of service and continues to volunteer and advocate for veteran services. In addition, she volunteers in the community through local senior centers, the National Council of Negro Women, the NAACP, the 100 Black Women, Junior League, and United Way, VIP, as well as several nonprofit boards. As a former board member, she continually serves as a volunteer for the DeKalb County Board of Health through the Live Healthy DeKalb initiative. Senator Anderson is the recipient of numerous awards over the years by many world-renowned organizations, to include the National Disabled American Veteran, Women Veterans Social Justice, awarded the Woman of Excellence Award by the National Foundation of Women Legislators, and awarded the Who's Who in Black Atlanta 2019 award. Senator Anderson earned a degree in business administration with an emphasis in management from the Alabama State University, as well as a Master of Divinity from Luther Rice University. In April 2018, she earned a humanitarian honorary doctorate degree from the Global International Alliance. Currently, she is pursuing another business degree. During the 2020 legislative session, Senator Anderson authored and championed a criminal justice reform bill, Senate Bill 288. This bill allows for the restriction and sealing of criminal records of most misdemeanor and some felony convictions. This bill affects 4.3 million Georgians. SB 288 went into effect January 1st, 2021. Senator Anderson is an ordained minister, a life coach, consultant, motivational speaker, and a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Senator Tanya P. Anderson.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause to this phenomenal woman with a $1 million smile, Senator Tanya P. Anderson. I think somebody said she was a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, but I didn't hear. Thank you so much. Senator Anderson.
Wow. How can I say thanks? And to God be the glory. To God be the glory. To both Doctors French, I appreciate you, President and First Lady, for all that you do in our community and for our partnership. I am grateful, truly grateful. Thank you for this honor, for hosting us, and for being who you are. As a little black girl from the Panhandle of Florida, I was raised by strong community leaders, my parents. I learned to serve the Lord with all of my heart. And then I learned to serve people, because serving God is serving people. As an HBCU grad, I feel at home when I plant my feet on an HBCU campus. I feel our pride, I feel our heritage, I feel our foundation, proud of our future and what it will bring. I am proud how we can change the world. Policy is how we affect people's lives every day. But progress is how we make it better. And if you're not going to make it better, then ask, what is your purpose? Because that's what we're there for, to make the lives of the people of Georgia better. And the legislation that I've sponsored, it's not genius. It's genuine. It's from the heart. It's how you serve people and make their lives better. Women at the table, in the Georgia General Assembly, in the marketplace, on our campuses of HBCUs, women, and we're celebrating International Women's Month, Women's History Month, and especially focusing on international relationships. Women make it happen. Now, we love you men so very much. We do. But women bring a different perspective to the conversation, a different perspective to the table. And when I celebrate both of my sisters who have received awards tonight, but when women speak, we change the conversation, and our conversation changes the policy. And the policy creates the progress, and then that's how we change the world. Women at the table, and in particular HBCU women, in the room means progress. So thank you for this honor. Thank you for this award. God bless you.
Tonight, as we celebrate women who have paved the way, built the foundation, prayed the way, established the building, brought the table, provided a seat at the table, opened a window and a door, and fertilized the garden, all so that men and women like you and I could be here where we are today. We can do a little bit better than that. Let's give it up for the women in this room and the women around the world who have made a global impact and made it possible for us to all be here today.
And let's give each of our three honorees another round of applause, please. At this time, will our moderators please join us on the stage, Ms. Carol Walker and Ms. Atina. You have to help me.
Ms. Atia Lene Miller. Let's also welcome out our panelists for this evening. Michelle Hung. She is the Global Vice President for Research from Research to Experiment at the Coca-Cola Company. Let's also welcome out Ambassador Susan Johnson Cook, former U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedoms. And of course, Ms. Jill Savitt, President and CEO of the National Center for Civil and Human Rights. Let's give it up for these ladies.
And may I also take a personal privilege in welcoming my dear friend, Ms. Carol Walker, whom I worked with at Morehouse College for a number of years, and who now serves as the Human Rights Film Festival. And of course, our very own Ms. Ativa Miller, a senior mass media communications major here at the illustrious Clark Atlanta University.
Our question is, how did the challenges you faced in your early career prepare you for your leadership role at Coca-Cola?
That's a really great question. It was quite challenging. One of the things I mentioned is true that I was a technical expert, and how I, from a technical expert, we call individual contributor, to a really a leader. So I think the key challenge was to show my leadership. What is the true leadership?
share their life and their experience and their opportunities with you. I had the privilege of sitting in on Judge Brown Jackson's second day of hearing, which was amazing. But you know, she was mentored by men and women. She was at every level of the judgeship. She searched for the man that she is going to succeed. You know, but she paid her dues. So I think it's a combination of paying your dues and being mentored and being in the right place at the right time. So I think some things are coincidental. I think some things are providential when they kind of all line up. But you have to do the work. Like, it's not going to just come to you because you're a pretty face or you're smart. It's the combination. Have you done the internships in the summer? You know, the blazing sun that carried the cameras, you know, all the things in the blazing sun and the things that you did want to do, but that are necessary for the role that you think that you want to go into. But if you have a mentor who helps you kind of stay guided on the path that you say, and also helps you refine some things. Like Atiba, I was a communications speech major, so I've always had a mouth. But there's certain times you don't have to say anything, or certain times you have to say things a certain way. And if you're in certain rooms, you definitely have to say it a certain way and be able to address, you know, the diplomatic room, there's one way. In the White House, there's another way. In your mama's house, there's another way. And you have to know what the culture is, and the mentor is the one who says, okay, now, this is where you're going. Remember the lessons that you need to know, and you walk in the room the correct way. So they're 100% important.
Ms. Sadek, when you began your career, did you ever imagine you would have a leadership role in an organization like the National Center for Civil and Human Rights?
I absolutely did not. Museums weren't on my list. Curating wasn't on my list. None of it was. And I think that's important because sometimes you're only going to be able to see as far as the headlights shine in front of you, and that's all you really need to see. That your next thing will open up for you. And so, you know, I started out as a reporter, and I really thought that was going to be my life. And so I'm shocked about it. Some days I wake up and think, how did this happen? But the most important thing I think about each of the jobs I held along the way was to think of it as an amazing challenge. So there are days where I'm not accustomed to doing audits or doing the finance side of my job that I've had to learn, and just what a privilege it is to get to learn a new skill here in my 50s and immerse myself in it and tackle it. And there are days I want to pull my hair out with frustration, but mostly I go back to thinking what a privilege it is to get to learn something new, and what a great opportunity to expand how my brain works. And you can look at the negative side of it, but that really just wastes your energy.
How is gender equality being addressed in both the public and private sectors? And if you can offer examples, or is it being addressed? And this question is for the entire panel.
Gender equality being addressed in the public and private sectors, not enough. Not enough, especially where it concerns elected leaders. I think when we look at the positions of power in our country on boards of directors, as the heads of companies, in the Senate, in the House of Representatives, in state houses, we do not see representation at the levels that it should be at this time on the planet in 2022. So I think we can start there. And you can also tell in rights terms a lot about our society by how women are treated and where they are on their journey towards being true, real democracy where everybody has a voice. And so I think as much progress as women have made, and women of all different backgrounds, we still see that women who are not white being adversely affected, women who come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds being adversely affected. And so you can't just look at how the most privileged women, white women, are doing and make a determination. look at that full picture, I think as much progress as we've made, there are still debilitating challenges that we face, and it largely has to do with our need to liberate men to living their full best lives as husbands and fathers and equal partners on the home side of things. And so I still think there's a lot of work to be done. I think Generation Z is going to make enormous strides for our world community in how they approach these issues. And I think my generation had there were lots of pioneering men. The notion of equality is much more accepted to that generation than any generation we've seen.
Bill? Okay, I can go next. I think this gender, equality is very different in different companies. I work for 2 companies.
No, he's just a mister.
One is
Vice President of University Relations. He just told me they're filming a movie at the stadium next week. So, I'm gonna try to reach out to him and say maybe there might be like potential shadowing opportunity.
Why join Coke?
Student opportunity.
It's so different world. And the Coca-Cola, we target 50%, almost like the people so you don't
Oh, the food.
and myself.
Are you hungry?
And then our most senior leadership team, I'm thinking about that. Maybe not quite half, but it's really getting there.
Unless you want
And every time when we have a panel, actually, with leaders, we always think about representative of both genders. So that's become very conscious. And also Coca-Cola Company sponsored the 5 by 20, I think, enable 5 million women entrepreneurs by 2020, and we over-deliver those. And is to support those women entrepreneurs in India, mainly India and Africa. So I'm very proud of working for Coca-Cola Company, which is very, I think is leading in this space.
Well, as an African American woman, I've had racism, sexism, classism, colorism, all the isms. And we employ Coca-Cola, but there are how many hundreds of thousands of other companies that aren't even doing, which is why we have to have DEI, units, and now it's DEIA. I formed the Global Black Women's Chamber of Commerce because the global chambers didn't have any black women. The U.S. Chambers of Commerce didn't have anything specifically for black women business owners, and it goes down the line. So as long as we still have to form a women's whatever, means that we're not there yet. And so we have to call attention to ourselves and still trying to make demands where we can. So we have to write grants at night as opposed to getting contracts. So we're staying up at night writing grants for $5,000, $6,000, and I'm not complaining when we get them. But that's a whole set of energies that's different than doing trade, trade through the ports. And you would want to be able to do that instead of trying to pull people still up in 2022. So there's still ways to go. I applaud the companies that are doing it. And then I'm a black woman pastor. So you can just, the fact that we have to have Women's Day, and we have to have a Black Women in Ministry initiative, just still says that we've got a ways to go in terms of equity and inclusion, but we won't stop fighting and they won't stop hearing us, and we're going to have to be creating another generation and generations who succeed us, and hopefully they won't have to fight their own battles. Like Colin said, I'm the first, but I won't be the last. And so my thing is we're the first of many, and I hope that there'll be many generations who succeed us, and when they get to the door and through the door, they'll keep the door open so no one else has to knock on the door or knock the door down.
Thank you so much, ladies, for those beautiful answers. My next question is also directed towards all of the panel. Basically, we just wanted to know what your view on the issue of gender equality is on a global scale. And if so, where did you feel our country stands relative to that global trajectory?
I'll start. I have a little bit of a down on that. The hugest
chosen over girl babies in many countries because girl babies aren't as, don't produce the kind of returns as that boys do, to violence of girls who are forced into marriage, to gender-based, all kinds of gender-based physical violence. So there is still globally, and in our country as well, a pandemic of violence against women. And it is not always seen that way or spoken about that way, but it's probably one of the largest human health problems that exists. And until we root that out and make it a focus and make it not something of shame and quiet, I think women will never be able to fulfill their full potential. That's a full view of how women are doing it, and a pressing need of gender equality around the world. And at our museum, we have a special exhibit on that. You're all invited to come see it, and it gives tips for how all of us play a role in addressing that. And it starts in our homes and in our schools and in our houses of worship and, of course, in our governments. But until we see that as the pandemic that it is, unfortunately, it will continue.
Come on, just go. Yeah, at global scale, I think there's a long way to go. I agree for gender equality. I come from China, and I can experience how the culture still, especially in the countryside, they prefer boys, and a lot of girls don't have opportunities that boys have. So it's very it's a long way to go. It's need a lot of, I think it still need a couple generations to really correct that. So really, really happy to be part of this panel and to see we have this topic to be addressed. I think this needs to be addressed everywhere to help the gender equality globally.
And I'll just add to that, you know, we celebrate that the first female president on the continent of Africa was in Liberia, and that the first female presidents are all outside of the United States. You know, the continent of Africa has been progressive, and certainly England and part of Europe. So I think we have a long way to go in terms of women leaders who are elected by their bodies, who are respected by their bodies, and then in addition to all that was said here in terms of violence against women, trafficking, all of those things, we have to be very concerned about. So there is a long way to go, but in terms of leadership, the continent of Africa led the way for me. And President Johnson certainly is one of my heroes, and I hope that we can follow.
Thank you, ladies. I think that is all the time that we have. We have lots more questions to ask you, but we're going to do that. We're going to invite other people to do that off stage. Thank you so much.
Wasn't this just fantastic, very interesting, very enlightening about leadership, mentoring, network, and of course, just women being at the table.
As we bring our program to a close, please welcome to the stage the Martin Luther King Jr. International Gospel Choir as they offer praise. Under the direction of Elder Kimberly Michelle Brown and the Dean of the Martin Luther King Jr. International Chapel, the Reverend Dr. Lawrence Edward Carter Sr.
At this time, we're going to present Miss Crystal Bracy, who is with the Phyllis Project, and a young lady that my CAU colleagues will see quite a bit on this campus. In my partnership with the Phyllis Project, she is collaborating with the Office of International Programs to provide international opportunities and exchanges for our scholars. So to provide us with a centering moment and then to hear some more of this fantastic music, may I present Ms. Crystal Bracy.
Thank you, Ms. Wade. Can we all stand at this time or assume whatever posture of prayer is most comfortable to you? And I think the hand of praise that you gave earlier was good for the wonderful rendition that the choir gave, but can we give God some praise tonight in this house? I think we can do a lot better than that. Can we give the Lord a hand of praise in this place? Amen. I know that you all have been inspired this evening, and as I have as well. And I just love how God chooses to move his will through women. How about you? To all of our amazing panelists and to all of the honorees tonight, to all the women across the globe who are breaking barriers and shattering glass ceilings. I'm just going to read a poem found in the book of Numbers that invokes a priestly blessing and benediction as we prepare to leave this place, but also to lead in whatever space that we've been called to. Would you just close your eyes for a moment? Numbers 6:24 through 26. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. And we all say, amen.
Amen.
Before the choir closes us out, can we give it up for our amazing accompanist today, Mr. Emmanuel Burney. And here to give us our final encouragement, the Martha King Jr. International Gospel Choir.